We're on the last lap of our journey, visiting the wealth of extraordinary homes on the RIBA long list. We've seen houses that challenge and amaze, that surprise and delight, all remarkable in their own way. So far, 6 have made it onto the shortlist.
That's fantastic news.
Now we're looking at the final crop of houses in a group we've called Minimal and Modern. At the end of this programme, we'll see who gets the last remaining place on the coveted shortlist before discovering who the overall winner is. So far, the 6 shortlisted buildings for House of the Year have come from 3 of our loosely grouped categories. From homes that are inspired by water, Ness Point, a house that all seaside curves, and the surreal and delightful 6 Wood Lane. From homes drawing on local traditions, the composed Shoreham House, and rather wilder Caring Wood. And from our rural category, New House of Auchengree and The Quest in Swanage. For our first minimal offering, I'm in suburban North London, where among Edwardian tree-lined streets, there's a new block on the block. Highgate House is a complete reinvention of the suburban home. It may look like the brainchild of some Minecraft enthusiast, but this ode to brick is far more refined than first impressions suggest. At its heart lies a huge double-height entrance hall cum living room, from which all other rooms emanate. On the ground floor is a swimming pool, and across the hall an open-plan kitchen, family room and separate dining room. On the first floor, via a grand gallery, are 5 bedrooms with 3 bathrooms. This assertive, verging on brutalist piece of architecture is home to Paul and Susanna, and it's on the site of Paul's previous family home.
Oh, yes. Gosh.
There are no frills here, no skirting boards or architraves. The choice of materials is limited, their use judicious, although frankly on an epic scale.
Wow. It's like walking into a museum. I mean, it's unlike many houses that have that great double-height space and that magnificent view.
Not unlike the hall of a grand medieval house, this large social lobby space is the hub around which smaller, more intimate rooms are arranged, whether shared family spaces or more private bedrooms. Described all in the simplest of palettes, warm reddish brick and dark smoked oak. This place is so minimal, the everyday stuff of family life is tidied away. Actually, there's not much to suggest a family lives here at all.
Oh, beautiful. It's in quite a small kitchen, in quite a large room. This is good. It's like going to a restaurant and they take you into a private dining room, at the back for a special function. I'd like to be invited round, please.
I'm sure we can manage that.
Just as whole rooms are hidden behind this wall of wood, so are all the trappings of practical family life.
Just another room. What is this?
This is like Narnia, isn't it?
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. So there is a TV.
There is a TV, and
there are family photographs. I love that. So it's, you can sort of personalise and depersonalise it.
It is. When morning comes, everything opens up. So start breakfast.
There's a big play here, isn't there, in this house, between public and private. You know,
Yeah.
whichever room you're in or space, there's an opportunity to close the door, open it up.
Everything has its place. It's so easy to live here.
Contrary to first impressions, this is a rich and fully inhabited house, although it is slow to reveal itself. It's proof that a family home can be formal and grand.
The entire building is full of these kind of large-scale, non-domestic experiences, the likes of which you normally find in, say, I don't know, the concert hall or in a contemporary museum.
Outside follows the same pared-back, ruthless approach as inside. There are no visible drain pipes or details. Even window frames are hidden. It's the strength of this design purpose that impressed the RIBA judges. That and the exploration of a single material, brick. Any reprieve from solid brick comes in the form of, well, perforated brick to provide glimpses of the world within and without. This building has the powerful presence you'd expect from an architect known for designing memorials.
Have you built a legacy here? Is this something for
Oh, yes,
your
for
kids?
us and our family, yes.
It's for us and future generations.
That's it.
A building as solid as this will possibly outlive its traditional neighbours. Highgate House is an emblem as much as a home. A place that suggests other buildings that are far more serious than a house. Paul and Susanna have bravely reinvented the suburban idea.
Allow me to tell you that this is an emotionally powerful building. It is fabulously monumental. It is beautifully resolved. Also, here's a word I don't use about houses very much. It is momentous.
We've 3 more pared-back homes to see
Wow. I was not expecting this.
before we discover the winner of House of the Year 2017. Our next offering is Hidden House. It's a shining example of those less is more principles. Built in the gardens of a converted Victorian school, it is a tiny single-storey home, completely hemmed in by all its neighbours. It's home to Selim and Iran, who moved to London from Istanbul and immediately recognised an opportunity. The old building on the plot was a caretaker's shed, which they've replaced with a minuscule 72-square-metre home that packs in an open-plan kitchen, living and dining room with 2 bedrooms and bathrooms. Small in stature perhaps, but big on invention, as architect Damien Burrows discovered.
Oh, wow. I was not expecting this. Look at the light. It's just absolutely flooding in. I mean, you've got these wonderful light wells.
They function as partitions to the space. As you can notice, it's sort of divided into 4 spaces, being kitchen, dining, living, and work. Where you don't have a window on the wall, you have a skylight. Where you don't have a skylight, you have a window. It's very smartly considered.
It should be. For such a small place, it's taken 3.5 years to design and build. But the result is a perfectly compact interior, finished with a precision verging on the obsessive.
Nothing is left to chance.
In true minimal style, the walls are lined with one material: oak. There are no frivolous details in sight. All the necessities of life are hidden away. If ever the makers of Swiss Army penknives built a home, it would be something like this. Craftsmanship was one thing that appealed here to the RIBA judges. They also loved how this home is both light and yet doesn't feel overlooked by its neighbours. A tall order with so many roof lights.
Wow. This is a little bit Bond, isn't it?
A little.
This is great. But this house is full of holes. You've got skylights punched all over the roof. Is this really a private house?
The bedroom is done in such a way that nobody can really see in. That way, I wouldn't say we're exposed too much.
The judges also singled out the quality of the polished concrete, saying it was some of the best they'd ever seen. In Hidden House, the concrete worktops were all cast on site to match the floor. What really set it apart, though, was the architect's insistence to use concrete with no dyes in it. The architects have pulled off the tricky job of making a house that is loved both by owners and neighbours.
It's almost as though it grows out of the gardens. And probably most surprisingly for me, it complements this wedding cake of a building, this Victorian wedding cake, beautifully.
It's hidden. It's a hidden house. And in a sense, you know, modern architecture doesn't always have to shout out. Modern architecture can be background buildings.
This background building works doubly hard. It meticulously orders its interior spaces and lights them to deliver a remarkable set of experiences. It also, almost accidentally, delivers a quiet, appreciated beauty to this crowded corner of London.